YouTube said that what I post up don't agree with them. Okay, why? Because they want people dumb or alphabetically strange. You know what that means. Okay, so enter a savior, the man on the white horse. Note that the first rider comes on a white horse. This indicates that he is to be almost universally admired as a peacekeeper, as a savior who comes to rescue humanity from the severe crisis and insoluble problems which confront us. Certainly today, our planet is besieged on every side. We have ethnic strife and religious cleansing in Bosnia, street gangs, violence in many cities, cocaine, heroin, other illegal drugs rampant everywhere, and the spread of the deadly AIDS epidemic. There's also sporadic terrorist activity in Israel, Lebanon, Arakan, posturing brutal suppression of captive republics, and Russia. Meanwhile, many parts of Africa are gripped by anarchy, tribal hatreds, and starvation. Japanese stock markets, real estate values have collapsed in Europe. The economic slump is threatening to turn into a tragic depression. Financial chaos is on the horizon in the United States of America. People fear that federal budget deficit looming like a magnet boogeyman is going to seize the average American wage earner by the throat and drown us all in the sea of debt. Most of these cries are created by rogue governments, especially and by the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, the BATF, and other alphabetical agencies, secretly fund and sponsor domestic terrorism, communist cells, neo-Nazi and KKK type groups. Domestic terrorists, especially as the government's created boogeyman, expected to drive the frightened masses into waiting arms of a Big Brother style government. I have presented example evidence in the past. For example, in those videos, Faces Terror, Stalking America and the Bloodstained Hands of the Big Brother's government. So, keep your eyes open. Terrorist units, the World Trade Center bombing in New York City, the Oklahoma City massacre, and many others were planned and executed by government henchmen. The result was predictable, a media-generated outcry from Congress and the White House to pass so-called anti-terrorist legislation. This process, Bob Trash writes and Cherith Chronicle, is called setting up the noose. He explains how it works. The way the noose works is the anti-terrorist bill provides draconian measures against those alleged to fit the category of terrorism or dissenters, those who might differ from the tyranny of administration, providing detention or deportation for those categorized or labeled aliens. The biometrics national ID card identifies by fingerprints, retina scans, or DNA every person in the nation. This provides possibility of positive identification and tracking of all citizens for the enforcement of the mark of the beast. Those who submit to the biometrics ID card can be required to submit all kinds of information in the process of qualifying as citizens. Those who refuse to submit can be immediately identified as aliens, non-citizens, dissenters, subjects to detention or deportation. To those who know the history of the development of the medieval and Spanish Inquisition and the modern 20th century history of the Gestapo Inquisition, Hitler's path to power today's parallels with the consolidation of police powers. The Third Reich are uncanny and profound. The personal road to the Jew, the detention and death camps began with registration. Now it looms on the horizon very closely in America. We are in the times, allegories in the days of Hitler. Bully boy, stormtrooper attacks on dissidents across the nation. Innocent people's homes are being raided, with possessions searched and stolen on a continual basis. We are in the days analogs, the enabling facts and seizure power, the executive, while the national police force is consolidated. With the government generating chaos and setting the noose, and under such ostrich hostile circumstances, as we currently face men and women everywhere are crying out for a leader, a hero, a statesman to put things right, a right man on a white horse, and many inspired by an Illuminati-controlled press, demanding that he be at the helm of global organization. Revelations tells us that the man on the white horse has a bow. He has the military means to make war, to enforce the peace. We also see that he is given a crown. He shall be according to the political power necessary to fulfill his global role as a conqueror. The final steps in the prophetic puzzle have been set for the rider of the white horse to come forward and take his ominous place as the most evil man in the annals of human history. The planet and its people have been brainwashed, dumbed down, conditioned, and they're ready. It's time.